Hey, you guys, welcome back to Real Chill Conversations. We have Edwina and myself here
Hey,
today
hey.
because we wanted to talk about these cases that are rising with the virus and the children. I think this is a very important matter right now. And a lot of people are talking about it. So we're going to kind of talk about it. It's not going to be long, um, but we're going to, dig a little into it and see what's going on because we got to talk.
Exactly. We got to talk about the situation that's going on today in the world, what's going on in our schools, and what's going on in our state. Like, how can we handle this? What are we doing at home to keep ourselves safe? What are the schools doing to keep our kids safe? So, Dominic, I think it's a great, subject that we're talking about today. So what are your intakes on like the schools? Because I know we talked about this the other day, how school just started maybe like a week ago, and in certain counties, we're already at 2,000 kids that are sick already. So what is your intake on it?
Yes, I'm worried. I'm worried that this number is going to keep going up just because of all these cases that I'm looking at. Like, literally, people have been sending me article after article after article about what's going on at the schools. I just got this article the other day, and somebody sent this to me. It says Gwinnett schools record more than 600 virus cases in the first week of school.
Wow, that's crazy. You said 600?
600.
Oh my God, girl, that's crazy. Like school just started. Like it hasn't even been a month. So can you imagine a month from now if it's 600 now in the first week? Can you imagine what it's going to be like in a month? Like, and that's my fear now. What are the teachers doing? What are the principal and the higher up people are going to do about this situation? Like my biggest fear, we're going to have another. I'm not going to say shut down, but my biggest fear is they're going to take kids out of school. And last year, which is my oldest, it was so hard doing virtual learning. I thought I was going to pull my hair out because I literally had to sit behind him every day on the computer just to make sure that he understands what was going on and he was getting his work turned in. So that's like my biggest fear now. Like, if the numbers keep rising, you know, are they going to shut the schools down? Are they going to go back to virtual learning? Like, what is plan A, B, C, and D they have in place for us? Because, like you said, you just got this article about the 600 kids that already been affected. I got a letter the other day from my son's principal. Somebody in his class has the virus. And he came home and was like, Mom, I may have to quarantine for a week. And I'm like, what do you mean a week? Like, uh, you're going to school Monday. We're not starting this where you have to be out of school for a week or two because somebody in your class has it. But let alone he has to quarantine because he was around this child. So they want to make sure that he's not bringing nothing else to the school. So it's just scary. It's just scary how things are going with the virus, the pandemic, the crisis at the border, everything that's going on in the world today. It just makes you sit back and want to reflect on like what is going on? What is our president doing? Like, he made us promises. He said certain things in the election. In me, personal opinion, I feel like he hasn't fulfilled. Like he was just saying everything to get into the White House and nothing's being done at all. And what's your intake on that? Like us voting, like do you feel like, we made the right choice by voting for him now that we see what's going on in the world today? Or would you change your mind now?
That's a good question to ask to the people. Like me, myself, I was I was all for Andrew Yang, but
Me too,
Unfortunately,
girl. Me too. Let's go ahead and put him back on the map.
he didn't make it. So yeah, that's a good question for the people. Like, the election, I believe, had a lot to do with the virus itself and what they will do for the people and how would they manage it. And it's getting out of control. Like, I'm looking through this article and it's saying more than 600 students and staffers just in Gwinnett County alone have been reporting the first week of school, that they have the virus, and 539 of them were students.
Wow, that's crazy.
So,
It's scary because it's like I know you. I know how when your kids get home, you have a certain system set in place. Like me too. Jeremiah has to take his shoes off. We take showers right away when we get in the house. We spray stuff down still. But it's like, are other kids doing it at their house? Like, are teachers doing it at their house as well? Like, do some people feel comfortable just because they got the vaccination that they don't have to do certain things no more? It's like, what can we do to protect our kids as well as protect the ones that are home, like me and you? We're home with little ones. How can we protect our little ones at home when our older ones go to school? What is your intake on that?
yes. So a lot of kids have been reporting too that they don't have no um, soap to wash their hands, and they've been washing their hands with water. I'm like,
Wow,
how
that's
is that?
crazy.
How is that possible? You know
That's
what I'm saying?
nasty.
Like, I don't get it. Okay, so let me tell you this, because there was also a case that came through my ears about a teacher having the virus, but the teacher actually got vaccinated. But now they don't have to wear a mask.
Yeah, I've been
So the
hearing that
teacher
too.
passed it to the student.
Yeah, I honestly, I've been hearing that too. Like, I guess when you get vaccinated, you don't have to wear a mask because you can't give it to others. But once again, personal opinion, I don't think that's true. I think even though you still being vaccinated, I believe you still can pass it because the ones that are getting sick again are the ones that are vaccinated. So it's like, why are we not wearing masks? Like,
I'm
I still wear a mask no matter where I go. I still wear a mask. I make sure my kids wear a mask. And I'm like, you just don't know. You just can't take somebody' opinion on if they've been vaccinated or not because you don't know. But
I'm
I don't trust it.
I'm noticing that the people that actually got vaccinated are the ones that having the Delta virus. I may
Exactly.
be wrong, but
Yeah. No,
this is
no, Dominic, that's
allegedly.
what I'm noticing too. We're not
Allegedly.
experts. We're not experts. And I'm gonna throw this out there again. We are not experts, but we're just going by what we are seeing. Not just on the news, but like in our kids' school and our community with, when we go out certain places. Even when I took my kids to Disney World and Universal, people wasn't wearing masks. It was a guy, he raised hell at Disney World. He didn't want to wear a mask. And the coworker was like, the employee was like, hey, are you vaccinated? He was like, no. He was like, well, you're the main one that needs to, wear a mask. And he was like, I'm not wearing a mask. And I'm like, just wear a mask. Vaccinated, not vaccinated, just wear a mask. We're trying to keep each other safe because we don't know who can carry this virus to spread it to anybody else. So
I don't, in my opinion, I believe, the mask help you in some type of way to not spread the virus. But definitely, I mean, that's a mystery there. That's a mystery with, why people that are vaccinated are actually getting sick from this new strain. So that's interesting.
Dominic, I was also going to ask you, what do you think about certain companies making their employees get vaccinated or else they have to leave? Like, how do they think they're supposed to survive if they leave the company because they're making their own personal choice not to get vaccinated? You know, I feel like we're in America, we can make our own decisions, but some people may want to just say, hey, let me wait a few more months just to see, what happens because, this is still new. I shouldn't lose my job over it, but I know for a fact certain companies, even by like October the 4th, I was reading Walmart by October the 4th, all their employees have to be vaccinated or else they have to go. But it's like you're in a situation where okay, either I get vaccinated, I don't want to get vaccinated, or I get vaccinated because I have to take care of my family. Like, what is your intake on that?
I don't I don't think they should make you get vaccinated if you don't want to. I mean, I don't think anyone should be made to be vaccinated. I mean, that's just crazy to me. Because this is like, to me, is a test run, and I'm just going to be honest. To me, it's like a test run. This is a
I feel
this
the
is a
same
new
way.
virus. This is a new thing. You don't know what it does. You don't know the effects. You know what I'm saying? I don't seen I done seen a lot of videos of people getting vaccinated and then they have disappeared. I mean, I'm not trying to say anything, but
I know what you're
I'm
talking about,
just
Dominique.
saying. I'll just cut it off right there on my intake about that. But no, I don't think they should be made to do something they don't want to do. But they
Yeah,
are still making the kids wear masks. But I'm just
yeah,
saying, why wouldn't you make the staff wear masks as well? And my thing is, are y'all cleaning up these schools every day?
exactly. And that's what I want to know too, because I know the school that Zoe goes to, they do a virus fee. What I mean by that is like they're supposed to have a special person on a special day, like Wednesday, come in and clean her school. So I'm like, if we're paying all this extra money, all these extra fees, I expect the school to be spotless. That's just my own personal opinion.
Oh,
Um,
you did mention something about the fees.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We get a fee each it's like at the beginning of the school year, they give us a fee for the virus to clean the school. So it's like, okay, well, I expect for there to be soap in the school, hand sanitizer in the school. I expect the classrooms, the bathroom to really be cleaned the right way. Um, if we're paying extra money, you know how many schools are getting over on people because they're charging an extra $100, $200 a year just to these virus fees and the schools are not being done properly.
Oh, Edwina, let me mention this too. Four schools in Clayton County have gone fully virtual since the year began last week due to rising case counts.
Yeah, I believe it. I honestly believe that I'll give it another month or two and then we'll get
Cobb
a
County,
notice saying,
Cobb
yeah,
County,
yeah, oh, definitely Cobb County. They're high right now.
yes.
We're DeKalb and DeKalb's high. So like I said, I'll give it a month or two and I would not be surprised to say, hey guys, we're gonna go virtual again. And I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it with two kids in school. Jeremiah's in 8th grade, Zoe's in kindergarten. So that's a lot, you know. So we'll see what happens. But
So, do you
um,
actually think they're gonna shut the schools back down?
yes, I do. I
Okay.
really do. Um, and the reason why I say that is because if every time a child gets sick and they make another child around that child stay home for a week or two, what if 10 kids get sick in that class? What if 20 kids? What if 100 kids get sick in the school? You see what I mean? This new strand, from what I'm seeing, is deadly and it's hard to control with getting vaccinated. you know, I thought when you get vaccinated, it's not supposed to be as bad, but apparently, even people that have got vaccinated, I think over the weekend they said 30 people. have died, even being vaccinated from this virus. So I do believe they're in the process of getting things together to shut us down again. Um, yes, that's my own personal opinion.
I'll read you this article because I found it a few days ago too, which the Florida leads country in hospitalized children with COVID-19 as school year approaches. So, do you want to listen to it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. I'm
Let
all
me
for it.
let me play. Let me play.
Okay, girl.
Let me see. I'll play it a little bit. New Parodontax Active Gum Repair Toothpaste. Before the first day of school, reports are showing Florida is leading the country with the most amount of hospitalized children with COVID-19.
Yeah, I can hear it.
Spoke to health experts who say more needs to be done to stop the virus from spreading on campus. The latest COVID-19 report from the Florida Department of Health shows 41% of Florida residents between the ages of 12 and 19 have gotten their vaccines. That being said, cases and hospitalizations are on the rise for children. The CDC's latest COVID review shows hospitalization rates for kids 4 years old and younger have tripled since the last week of June. Since the
Wow.
week of June.
That's crazy. And you said that's in Florida?
Florida.
Well, Florida governor right now is not, he's
And
just
he
something else.
actually
Yeah, that's what I'm about to say.
took the mask
That's,
mandate.
yeah, that's why I'm like, he's not my favorite person right now. I don't even want to speak on him because I feel like he's trying to please the people, a certain crowd of people, because the elections are coming up in September. And that's not the way to do it, by trying to please a certain crowd of people and just pulling up masks. Because if you see what's going on in his state now, there are a lot of children, as well as adults, that are still getting sick. So, yeah, their governor, pray for their governor. He needs prayer. Let's say a little prayer for him right now in the name of Jesus.
Health shows 41% of Florida residents between the ages of 12 and 19 have gotten their vaccines. However, cases and hospitalizations are on the rise for children. So, this is a problem. This is a big, huge problem.
Yeah, it's
And
huge.
I honestly, my honest opinion, yes, I want my kids to learn. Yes, I want them to be in a learning environment. Yes, virtual was kind of um, time consuming, but yes, there are days that I look up the report every day, by the way, on my
Yeah.
county, and I
Yeah,
look
me
at the
too.
schools and see how many cases are there. And sometimes I do feel like I want to pull them out.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you, Dominic, because I feel the same way. Especially when Jeremiah came home and he was like, "Hey, somebody in my class has the virus," and I was like, "What do you mean? Like, school just started. Like, what are they doing to prevent all this type of stuff? Like, what are they doing at home?" But I'm with you. It's like you want to keep your kids safe, because you don't want anybody to get sick, as long as as well as your own children. But this is serious. That's why I said earlier, like, what what is the president doing? Like, what are the steps? What are ABCD that he's trying to put into place? Like, he can make that call and say, "Hey, all states must wear their mask." He's not doing it. And why? Why doesn't he want to make that call? He's like, "Oh, all the governors can just make that decision." But it's like, if you see them not making good decisions, why not step in and say, "Hey, your numbers are rising. We see this is going on. let's go ahead and make your state wear masks because we're trying to prevent this from happening. Now, what he said yesterday, President Biden said yesterday, is that he wants to start making it where people have to go around with their shot cards from state to state. Um, so I guess they won't go into another state if they haven't been vaccinated. But it's like, how are you going to do that? Are you going to stop everybody right at the state line and check to see if they've been vaccinated, you know, or why don't you just step in now and just say, hey, let's start wearing masks? Because it's like the way it seemed like it's going, it's like even the president is starting to force people to get vaccinated because if you don't get vaccinated, you can't go out to eat, you can't go to the grocery stores, you can't go to different states. And to me, it seems like that's a whole nother topic of being forced to do things when we don't want to do. You
Yeah,
know,
that's that.
I was about to say something about the Bible, but you know, everybody's not about the Bible. And I know what I was going to say is that, you know, in the Bible, I think it's a revelation where you're living in the last days, certain things are going to come forth, like the mark of the beast. And that's what it seemed like to me, is like we're being forced to do certain things. Um, like how, for instance, they were talking about years ago putting chips in bodies. This is what it feels like to me with the vaccination. Like they're forcing you to do something because if you don't do it, if you don't get this chip, you won't be able to do certain things in life. And that's what it feels like to me at the end times. And like I said, that's a whole nother tea topic, but in my own personal opinion, but that's what it feels like to me. So what you're gonna say, Dominique?
Yeah, like I share that um opinion, with you and perspective of things. I just want to know like what is really going on. Like we gotta, you know what I'm saying? Like sometimes it just makes me want to dig into all of this because I'd be like, how is this possible? Um, why are these things happening?
Exactly.
Um,
And why are they happening now? Exactly.
so I think a lot of people share that perspective as well. I've heard it many times. You know, I've shared it as well on my other platforms. So yeah, like this is just getting scary as for the kids. It was a very scary situation when it was, the older population was going through it, and it was definitely a high rate of death. um and now we're back to it, and now it's our children.
Yeah,
So this
exactly.
is definitely um so what do you think about the schools requiring masks for the kids, um but they don't have to wear it if they're vaccinated?
I don't think it's right. Um, I know from my kids' school, the teachers they wear it. I don't know any other counties, but I know when I drop Zoe off every morning, they all have their mask on, and they promote masks definitely at her school. But the schools that are not making the staff wear the mask, I feel like shame on them because, like you said, you can be vaccinated, still carry the virus, and then pass it on to a child. You know, and what if a child have a bad immune system and they get hospitalized? You see, you're not thinking about that. Or if a child lives with their grandparents, they can give it to their grandparents. So um, I think once again, the higher up people should come together and say, hey, employees, staff, as well as kids should be should wear their mask at all times. They should have some system put into place, even for like school. I don't think the kids should eat at the cafeteria. I think they should do how they did it last year. They should eat in their classroom to sort of social distance from each other. Because if they're all in the cafeteria, that's too many kids in the cafeteria together. Personal opinion. Um, but yeah,
And that's
I shame on
definitely
them.
like the kids can take the virus back to their parents and grandparents, and they can become very sick. Like, very, very sick. Whether I believe whether you're vaccinated or not, um, just my opinion, honestly, keep that mask on.
Yeah, at all times. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even at the grocery store, like I was at the grocery store today. I went to the grocery store with the kids, and the guy was like hawking and coughing. I was like, and I was like, he's doing all this, and he doesn't even have a mask on. He should be the main one with the mask on. You over here coughing over food. Like, now I don't want to even buy the fruit because you hawking and coughing over it. I don't know what's flying out your mouth.
I
That's
mean, that's
nasty.
something like, especially if you're coughing and you know that you're sick,
I know.
the
And I'm
best
like, if
thing
you
for you to
know
do
it.
is wear a
But I
mask.
think certain stores now, they're just so afraid to say anything to people because, you see videos all the time about how you tell somebody to put a mask on and then you get spit on or you get cussed at. I got cussed at one time about Zoe. Went into a store. She was using her mask as a helicopter. And a man was like, make her put her mask on. I was like, no, she's four. And he was like, you need, I said, no, she's four. I said, I will talk to her. I said, but right now she's having fun with her mask. I said, we're not even in the store all the way. I said, when we get in the store, I would definitely, encourage my child to put a mask on. But you don't want to say anything to people because it's a fear of, okay, somebody's going to cuss me out if I say anything to them about putting their mask on.
And y'all not gonna lie, like that mask, I can't breathe under that mask.
No, mm-mm,
Honestly, I start
no.
panicking. I start,
Yeah,
hyperventilating.
I do too. It's something
Um,
about the mask. I do too.
and I just be like, oh man, I just can't wait till I get outside to take this
Yeah.
mask off.
Yeah. And that's what I was saying. That's why I don't put my mask on right away until I actually get in the store. Like if I'm outside the front of the door, I'm not gonna do that. I usually like I wipe down the buggy first. I still do that. I get some Clorox wipes, I wipe down the buggy, or I have some hand sanitizer. I use that before I put the kids in, and then I'll put our mask on, and then we'll walk in because I hate wearing my mask, and it's such a challenging with Zoe, Doodle, he doesn't wear a mask, of course, because he's too young, but
Yeah.
she doesn't like it. And she'll tell me, Mommy, I don't like my mask. I'm like, well, we have to wear it. She says, I know because of the virus. So she's understanding it, but it's still a challenge every day.
It
But
is challenging. It's so
yeah,
challenging and it's so overwhelming,
yeah,
to people like, oh my God, we have to do this again and again.
yeah.
When
And
is
it
this gonna
doesn't.
go away? But honestly, I don't think it's gonna go away.
No, I don't think it is too. And I was just about to say, I said, and it's really going to be bad because we're we're in August. September, I think, don't quote me. I think September is like flu season. August, September is flu season. So from now until the end of the year, it's flu season. So we're gonna have to deal with the flu plus the virus, and that's not good because a lot of people die from the flu as well. So
Yeah.
it's like we're gonna be battling two things, and who knows? It may be another strain that comes out because I was like, when did the Delta come about? When did this new strand come about? Like, I thought we was on another strand, and then they're talking about, oh, this one. I was like, really? It switched like that? So yeah. So we never know what tomorrow holds, what today holds. We just have to stay prayed up, prayed over our kids, pray over this country, because clearly, um, I'm not gonna say everybody, but some people have voted the wrong person in office because I feel like right now he's not doing his job. He's not everything that he said he was going to do. He has not done it. Like we have a crisis at the border. You
Yeah.
know, who's going to take care? Who's taking care of that? Nobody. There are gas prices rising up. There's food prices rising up. It's like is nobody taking a look at everything that's going on? You know, everywhere I go now, like we wanted to go to McDonald's at 9 o'clock at night. On top of this, it's a 24-hour McDonald's. They were closed. Nobody is working. It's like everywhere we go, it's a now for hiring sign. It's like,
But
are we
how are
living
you
in it?
gonna do if so many people are getting sick?
And that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. It's like, what is the end game? What is ABCD. We don't
What's
have
the
nothing set
plan?
in stone.
What's the plan? Because I
Yes,
I want to say this too, because the economy, the economy, the economy. That's all I hear, but
yes,
I don't hear health concerns. You know,
no,
so are we opening back up just because we're losing money, or
yes,
it
and
couldn't
and
possibly
and
be that you care about our health.
no, and let me say this, and I'm all
But
for
that's
helping
another tea
people.
topic.
Yeah, that is another tea topic. That is true. I'm all for helping people, and I am grateful for the extra money that we did receive last year with the stimulus and this year. But I don't think a lot of people understand how, since we received this money, it our taxes have raised up so much to put this money back. You see what I mean? That's why when you vote for your Congress or senators or whatever, you really got to do your background on who you're voting for, because right now we have a new bill that's coming out, and they just signed it for $3.5 billion. And half of that money is not even coming to the United States. Half of the money is going to overseas where we never see
Wow.
it, but
Wow.
we will have to pay for it as the American people. And like I said, I'm all for helping people, but we need help here. I don't want to pay almost $4 in gas. Even when it comes to milk, I'm so used to milk being $1.50. It's 3.09. I was like, oh God, like stop eating cereal, Jeremiah. Because it's
That
so
food is going
expensive.
up though.
It's expensive. It's like everything is so expensive. And it's like you get a job. I'm looking at my job, how it's like taxes are being taken. I'm like, why are they taking out almost $200 out of my check? For what? Because we're paying back from the stimulus that they gave us.
But this is
So,
why I say the universal basic income
yes,
was perfect, you know what I'm saying, for us, especially at a
yes,
time like this where people are in need, where people don't know, hey, can I work right now? You know what
yes,
I'm saying? Can I stay home to not catch a virus and die?
exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So, universal basic income for all right now would have really worked. Um, Maybe not at $1,000. Maybe it
Yes,
would have had to be more than that, just because look of how much the rent is. Look
yes,
how much the bills are that you still have to pay. So even if
exactly.
you're not going to work and you're sick, those bills still have to be
Be
paid.
paid. You're right, Dominique. You're
So
absolutely
I
right.
want to know, how is this gonna, how what is the country America, well, the United States of America is going to do to be able to help their people and make sure that they're not in the streets, and they're also you know taking care of their health as well.
To be honest, I don't even think they have a plan. And like I said, the reason why I say that is because our president was making so many promises that he hasn't kept. Um, he was talking about when was it? Maybe like a year ago. He was talking about Social Security. He's going to help out the elderly people. That still hasn't been done. It was all talk. So I don't think they even have a plan. To be honest, I think they probably thought when people got vaccinated, it was going to go away.
No,
That's my personal opinion.
no.
So now that it has not went away, it's like, oh, okay, now what do we
What
tell
are
the
we gonna
people?
do?
Because we were hoping this and it's not. It didn't turn out the way we hoped. So I don't think they have a plan. Because if
Right.
you notice, he doesn't come out and talk to us. Like he doesn't have his press conference like that. It's
Yeah.
every blue moon. You see, so it's like, okay, we're all going through something. We're all going through this. Why we're not hearing from our leader, our chief? Why? Why is he silent in the back?
Yeah.
And even our vice president. I love having a woman vice president, but if you don't need it, if you're not doing your job, then step down.
You
That's
know
just
what,
me.
Edwina, and I'm gonna say this because we're at 34 minutes now. So
Yeah. Oh wow, we went over than what we were saying we were gonna do.
But I don't mean to interrupt. I'm sorry. But what I do want to say is something is going to have to happen. Now the kids are suffering from this.
Yes.
Um, and people are not just going to ignore this.
No.
It's a problem. It needs to be addressed. It needs to be
Exactly.
fixed.
Exactly. I agree.
I'll leave with that. Anything
Yeah.
you want to say?
No, same thing. I agree with you, Dominique. This needs to be addressed. This needs to be handled, and I hope that our president, our leader, will put a plan into effect soon that can help all of us.
Exactly. And not put the economy before the people. I think
Exactly.
the people are very much more important than the
Yeah.
economy.
Yeah.
So, all right, y'all. Thank you for watching, and remember to
Yeah.
subscribe to Real Chill Conversations. And you all have a
Yes.
great day.
Have a good one. Peace.